matchup is between the Comets of Central High Crossing and the Golden Gales of Lancaster High School. Both teams are members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and abide by the high standards of conduct, competition, and relations with member schools. The student athletes, coaches, and officials have put great effort into preparing for this game. Please respect them for their efforts and remember to respect the game, regardless of the outcome. The officials assigned to this game have had extensive requirements set forth by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and have been approved by both schools to provide their important role. Your officials are Jamal Shabazz, Asia Glenn, Anthony Tucker. And you'll give it for him. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the greatest country in the world with freedoms like no other. To honor America and in respect for all who have served our nation to defend our freedoms that we enjoy, please stand for our national anthem, sung tonight by Will Llewellyn, the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose blood stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Basketball Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, the Carriage Company, the Savings Bank, Fairfield DD, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, Huddle Tire and Auto, and North Body Shop.
From Lancaster High School, IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. Tonight, it's a matchup in the OCC Buckeye between the Central Crossing Comets and the Lancaster Golden Gales. Hi, good everybody. I'm Josh Messerly, joined alongside by our IVP Sports crew, and glad you are joining us, no matter where you are joining us from tonight. And these two teams coming in a little bit different scenarios into this game. Lancaster on an overall record of 7-5, 1-4 in the OCC Buckeye. Central Crossing 3-12, 0-6 in the OCC. And this Lancaster team coming off of a COVID pause, the second one this season. That ran from January 8th through the 19th. Coach Dusty Miller said that his team has had 8 practices and 2 games in the last 4 weeks. That includes Christmas break as well. So you'll begin to wonder coming into a game like tonight, will the Lady Gales have some rust to knock off? That could be an issue coming into the start of this game. Central Crossing, meanwhile, comes off of 3 straight losses. They last won on January 5th against Franklin Heights. Team that's trying to find themselves right now and figure out who they are and what they want to do. And they'll see if they can right the ship a little bit tonight. We'll remind you tonight's tip-off is brought to you by North Body Shop, providing quality customer service, parts, and reliability since 1979. Owner Mark North will provide you with a free written warning in each estimate. That's Mark North of North Body Shop. He'll treat you right. And we are underway. As Central Crossing will control the opening tip. That's Lasco, dishes it inside, shots up and no good. Rebound pulled out of there by the Lady Gales. Early on here from Lancaster High School, glad you can join us. As Kara Weaver gets a touch, we'll go through the starting five here momentarily. Here's Kylie Phillips, who loses it out of bounds. Phillips, a sophomore, Kara Weaver, a junior, Jenna Grabbins, a sophomore, Riley Patrick, the lone senior. We'll talk about her a little bit. And Peyton Wilson, the junior, five on the floor for the Lady Gales. Inside to the aforementioned Wilson, who gets it up and in. First two for Peyton Wilson, who is in double figures on the year, averaging 10 points a game. And quickly a 2-0 lead for the Lady Gales. As you see, Lydia Kimmel, Nitzi Rios, Georgia Lasco, Amanita Dico, and Cordy Watkins, the five on the floor for the Central Crossing team. And a tie-up, and the alternating possession arrow will give it to Lancaster. So some tough defense for the Lady Gales to start it off. They last played on January 7th, losing against Pickerington Central 67-28, a very good Pick Central team. In fact, this OCC Buckeye just loaded with good teams. Inside, it's Patrick, loses it, finds a teammate, and that's Peyton Wilson, whose shot is up and no good. Comets want to run the other way, as Kimmel now will slow it down. Crossover, will find a teammate. That's Lasco underneath. Back to Kimmel, averaging 6.8 points per game for the 5'2" junior guard. She's being D'd up by Kara Weaver. Bouncing for Lasco. Shot up from the wing. That's Rios. It's no good. Rebound pulled away by Weaver. Quickly ahead and off the hands of Kylie Phillips, and it'll go over to Central Crossing. I mentioned this OCC Buckeye division. You look at the latest AP poll in Division I. Of the 6 teams in the conference, you have 3 of them in the top 10 of the state. There's a 3 on the way, and good for Georgia Lasco. And the 5'4" senior knocks down her first triple of the night. She averages 7.9 on the season. Central Crossing the early lead, and now a steal by Lasco, racing the other way, and she'll finish. So a bit of a surge here early on, 4-2. And getting it up and in, maybe got away with a travel underneath, was Jenna Grabbins. So Lancaster ties it up, and that's knocked out of bounds. And last touch, they say, by Central Crossing. Up and down we go here in the first couple minutes. And a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Coach Miller was concerned his Lancaster team would be a little bit rusty coming into tonight. Plans to maybe rotate a few. As you see Coach Miller in the background, the sideline for Lancaster, shouting out instructions to his team. But yeah, they also have a matinee game tomorrow at Olentangy Orange, so another reason he may try and rotate the lineup a little bit more than normal. Of course, coming off the COVID pause, may need to do that as well. There's a 3-ball knocked down by Kylie Phillips. Phillips been one of the most improved players according to Coach Miller, and you see she makes an early impact. Lasco loses the handle of it, but goes to Rios on the wing, and a reach-in foul is going to be called. That foul is going to go against Jenna Grabbins, her first, team's first. Mention our officials tonight: Jamal Shabazz, Antone Tucker, and Asia Glenn. Those are the folks in stripes tonight. And the Comets will trigger it in underneath their own rack. With 4:35 to go in the quarter. That's out of bounds. And it will stay with the Comets. A little defense there by Lady Gales, denying. And another one poked away by Grabbins, and it will again stay on this end with Central Crossing. It's active hands early on by Lancaster. Coaches love to see that for sure. And you see Coach Miller talking with his assistant Tom Stedman. Longtime Lancaster assistant coach. Also coached a little bit at Fairfield Union as well. And gonna have a traveling violation as Rios tried to put it on the deck, but could not. So still a 7-4 lead for the Lady Gales here early on in this first quarter. Grabbins brings it up the floor, all kinds of pressure, ball loose in the corner. Grabbins comes up with it, puts it off the glass and in. How about that? Jenna Grabbins, the and one. She'll go to the line to try and complete the old-fashioned three-point play. Get a good look at the sophomore. Misses the free throw, and she tries to run it down. And let's see, it is going to be Central Crossing basketball. You see a nice piece of camera work there on the baseline by our photographer, Tom Russo. Oh, excuse me, they are going to say that it is Lancaster basketball. I thought they ruled that that was off Central Crossing, so a nice job there by Grabbins after missing the rebound, trying to track it down. She gets the basketball, and they work at the top of the key for Chandler Crowell, who's just into the ball game. That's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Comets. Crowley, sophomore guard. As Kara Weaver to trigger it in, trying to find somebody open. Grabbins passing it off to Riley Patrick. And Patrick gets it back. Open for three, off the iron. Rebound pulled down by Deco. A lot of action, not a ton of scoring so far. It's a nice play defensively by Kroll. Knocks it out of bounds. We'll get a couple subs into the ball game. We'll see Cheyenne Taylor for the first time tonight for Central Crossing. And also into the game, looks like back into the game was Peyton Wilson for Lancaster. Wilson averaging in double figures, and there's a near tie-up, and we are going to get a held ball. Have a delayed whistle there. Thought that we're going to blow it dead, and finally the officials do stop play. So held ball. Possession arrow favors the Comets. There's Lydia Kimmel, one of their top scorers, 6.8 points per game. Also 3 rebounds, averaging, and 2.1 assists per game. Kim was also coming off a 6-point performance in a loss at Groveport last week. Going to the rack and leaving it a little bit short was number 13, Lasco. Quickly ahead for Lancaster. Grabbins now swinging to the corner. Here's Weaver, baseline. A lot of ball movement on this possession, and going in and missing the shot is Kroll. Rebound pulled down by Kimmel. Now she'll slow it down inside of 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Just a 5-point game at the moment. Offense has gone a little bit cold at this point for Central Crossing. Kimmel dribbling through the trees, and she draws a foul. Trying to work through 3 defenders on that possession, and Lydia will go to the line. The 5'2" junior guard will have 2. Foul will go on Kara Weaver. That's her first. Free throw is up and good for Kimmel for her first point of the evening. And we're going to see Avery Westbrooks into the ball game first time tonight for the Lady Gales, as Peyton Wilson, you see, will get a breather on the bench. One more at the line, and that's off the back iron. Rebound pulled down by Deco. Kimmel leaves it short. Deco, another rebound. This is Rios on the baseline, has it taken away and commits the foul. It's going to be the first on Nitzi Rios, the 5'4" junior guard. We have 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. 9-5 in favor of Lancaster. Gale showing some patience here on this possession. Try and get everybody a little bit of a touch. As here's Kroll turn the corner and lays it off the glass. Nicely done by Chandler Kroll, and it's her first basket. Makes it 11-5. There's a three ball off the mark. Stick back is up and good for Cordy Watkins. Her first basket of the night. Makes it 11-7. Grabbins going to the basket, throws it high off the window. That's tapped out, and they're going to say last touch by Grabbins of Lancaster. The Central Crossing team, you wouldn't know it by their record, but they are playing hard tonight, and it's a team that seems to be a little bit on the young side. Perhaps that's why they have struggled, got off to a slow start. Didn't pick up their first win until their 9th game in December. That shot is up and good for number 20, Anita Deco. And all of a sudden, we've got a 2-point game. A lot of pressure being applied, and it's causing a little bit of difficulty for Lancaster. Rabins gives it up. Open look for three. No for Pugh. Second effort's no good, and now a tie-up and a held ball, and it's going to stay with Lancaster. Very scrappy effort by both of these two teams. Yeah, substitution quickly is Tima Newman, is into the ball game for Central Crossing. Grabbins for three, that's off the mark. Gales try and save it, but right to Central Crossing. Taylor ahead. And going to the basket is Lasko too strong. And Deco with the rebound and a whistle and a foul underneath. These two teams met back on December 3rd. It was a game dominated by Lancaster 62-23. Newman had 5 points for Central Crossing, and Grabbins had 15 to lead the way. Looks like the Lady Comets have kind of learned a thing or two since that first matchup, as that one's banked in by Deco. And checking back in is Kara Weaver for Lancaster. And they're going to have another sub at the scores table. And they're going to bring in Kylie Phillips as well for the last 48 seconds. One more for Deco at the line. And she banks it in. Banks even open on Friday night. 2 in a row at the line for Amanita Deco. 4 points for her, and it's tied up at 11. Let's see if Lancaster will go for the last shot. No, they're not. As a open look for Weaver, she couldn't pass it up. And getting the rebound going in and missing the shot for Lancaster was Wilson. Quickly ahead with 28 seconds. It's loose on the floor and out of bounds, and it's going to be off of Central Crossing. What an effort by Deco as she slid probably a good 5 feet across the floor trying to chase down that loose ball. Like a greased pig trying to corral that thing as it was slippery on the floor, but Gales will have it with 23 seconds to go. As Central Crossing's press has definitely been a bit of an issue for Lancaster. Looked pretty good on the defensive end as well. Down to 10. There's a three, and it's good. And the three is up and good by Phillips. Her second of the night, and now a foul with 1/10 of a second on the clock at half court. As Crowell commits the foul, be her first, and that will put Lasko, who's just trying to heave it up at the buzzer, at the line. First free throw is no good. One more at the line. Excuse me, 2 more. She knocks that one down. Lasco had a chance to tie it up had she made the first one. She's already got 5 in the game. And cannot get it to fall, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter with the score, Lancaster 14 and Central Crossing 12. Glad you joined us here on the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week as we get the pep band in the house as well, making some noise here at Lancaster High School. And also want to mention it is senior night, as there you see the pep band making some noise. And the lone senior being honored tonight for Lancaster is Riley Patrick. She has 2 varsity letters in basketball, a 3.5 GPA. Field hockey and track athlete. There you see her there on the bench or in the huddle. Shot and discus thrower in track and field. She's also involved in choir, varsity L club, and many others as well. So congratulations to Riley Patrick, the senior being honored tonight on senior night. What a special night it must be. I wonder how she has time to sleep with all the activities she's involved in when you play 3 varsity sports and involved in many clubs and having a 3.5 GPA to boot. But a lot of these student athletes do a good job of balancing their academics and athletics. And you know, it's the old saying, you want something done, give the job to a busy person, because they'll find a way to get it done. And certainly Riley Patrick is one of those. Central Crossing will start the quarter with the basketball, trailing by a deuce. Inside to Deco. She's had a good night so far. She puts that one high off the glass. Goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Central Crossing. Deco dishes it inside and almost up and in for Watkins. But the second effort is good. As it's up and good by Lasco. Give her 7 in the game. She's been really impressive so far tonight for Central Crossing. There's Kylie Phillips, who's been another mentioned most improved player, along with Chandler Crow. Who gets the handle there. Inside, and an errant pass, nearly thrown out of bounds. A good job to save it on that far sideline. That was Pugh, Kylan Pugh there in the far corner to keep that one from going out of bounds. She gets it back around the screen. Phillips for 3, no. Tipped and controlled by Watkins of Central Crossing. And quickly ahead and getting fouled going up for a shot was Georgia Lasco, and she'll go to the line for 2. Lasco definitely the top player in scoring, averaging 7.9. She also leads the team in assists and steals as well. As that foul goes in Kylie Phillips, her first. Free throw is up and good for Lasco. One more at the line, and she knocks it down. Let's go with 9 on the night, and Central Crossing has their first lead. Kroll with it, finds Pugh. Deco all over her defensively. Weaver trying to lob it inside. Nice feed for Peyton Wilson, who finishes. And we are all square as we near 6 minutes to play in the half. Crossover, Lasco pull up in the lane. Deco there for the putback. It's too strong. Weaver comes up with it. And that one's too strong for Pugh. Deco with another board. Up and down, we see these two teams going at it, and a foul inside is going to be called. as that was Lasco trying to go strong to the basket, and she will go to the line as Kylie Phillips picks up her second. She's likely going to head to the bench, trying to avoid picking up more fouls here in the first half. The first free throw is knocked down for Lasco, and she's now in double figures. Both teams coming in. Tina Newman checking in as well for Central Crossing as the free throws knocked down. 11 now for Lasco. A 2-point lead again for Central Crossing. And a whistle and a foul on the baseline as Weaver was trying to drive. Wilson nearly threw it away and does. Here's Kimmel quickly ahead to Lasco, and she lays it in. Georgia Lasco, I tell you, is having herself a night. 13 points already in the half, and it's a 4-point lead for Central Crossing, their largest to date. And a foul is called as driving in hard was Kara Weaver, and she'll go to the line. Weaver averaging 7 points a game, a junior guard. You get a good look at her right there. First free throw's up and good. Lydia Kimmel picks up her second foul, so she'll head to the bench for the Comets. And Weaver's going to have one more at the line, and it is good. Weaver, her first two of the night. A lot more action than maybe anticipated in this one, as both teams getting up and down the floor quite a bit. Tough defense on this possession. There's a deep three. It's off the front iron. Quickly ahead to Weaver. Now dishes it back, and that's an air ball. As that was Chevalier who will fire again. That's off the mark. Emmeline Chevalier into the ball game for the first time tonight. That's knocked out of bounds. Actually, we're going to whistle on a foul instead. So we'll see Savannah Hamilton checking in for the first time tonight for Central Crossing, as Lasco picks up her second foul, so she'll head to the bench. That's a big development for Central Crossing, having Georgia Lasco on the bench. And now a foul's going to be called, as going in strong was Kara Weaver. As Rios said she was going straight up, had her arms up, but instead that's going to be a foul, the second on Nitzy Rios, who still can't believe it. And Weaver back at the line. First one is no good. Lancaster came into this game shooting 54% as a team at the line. And one more at the line for Weaver. And it's off the back flange and no good. Watkins pulls down the rebound. Head to Rios. In the corner is good, just inside the arc for Savannah Hamilton. Or rather, that was Rios, beg your pardon. 4-point lead for Central Crossing as we're inside of 4 minutes in the quarter. And now a traveling violation, a turnover to Central Crossing. Tell you, the energy tonight that Central Crossing's played with has been impressive, as Chad Novelli really got his ladies ready to go from the start of this game. Rios in the corner, now finds Watkins. Top of the key, it's Hamilton, rims out. Loose ball on the floor, dug out by the Lady Gales. Ahead to Peyton Wilson on the break. She goes in, misses the layup with a little contact, and the ball trickles out of bounds, and it will stay with Lancaster. Weaver gets it back, and she's called for traveling. Nice little give and go there, but everything but the traveling. Now Coach Novelli telling his Comets to slow it down a little bit. Kind of been a helter-skelter pace early on. That one's dribbled off the foot, and will turn over to Lancaster. Pugh will find Weaver, who will set up the offense. She'll drive to the baseline, has it knocked away by Deco, who's played a good half. And Anita Deco with the rejection, and a timeout taken by Central Crossing's head coach Chad Novelli. That's his first, and I'll remind you that tonight's timeouts are brought to you by The Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. You can check out their website at carriagecompany.com. There you get a good look inside of the Central Crossing huddle. A team that's started out, as I mentioned, slow to start the year. But they do have a couple of nice wins over Southwestern City School opponents, fellow school district opponents, as Westland and Franklin Heights, and they've got Grove City next week, and perhaps a chance to sweep the school district. I'm sure that's a big deal in the Grove City area. As there you see inside the Lancaster huddle, as the Gales have faced some relentless pressure on the defensive end early on, some pressure that has resulted in a couple of turnovers. You see Coach Dusty Miller in the center. Miller, a former football and baseball player himself back in the day at Lancaster High School. Now the timeout, Central Crossing nearly turns it over as Hamilton gives it up to Taylor. Inside to Deco, off the glass and in. Nice feed from Taylor to Deco. And Anita Deco with her 6th point tonight. And quickly back the other way, Lancaster cashes in. Avery Westbrooks with the bucket. 24-20 in favor of Central Crossing as we near 2 minutes to go in the half. Rios bails out Hamilton, who's in the double team. And that one's deflected into the hands of Westbrooks. Quickly ahead to Wilson. And now a three is good by Emmeline Chevalier. And you see the freshman averaging 5 points a game. A big three to boost the momentum for Lancaster. And answering on the other end was Nitsi Rios for Central Crossing. Back and forth we go here in the latter stages of the first half. Lancaster finally gets across the timeline. Chevalier open again for three. No good. And the rebound out to Hamilton. That's poked away. Chevalier gives it up to Grabbins. Or rather, that's Pugh who lays it in. And a timeout quickly taken by Lancaster as they've cut it to a 1-point game with 1:10 to go in the half. Tell you what, we've had a lot of action so far in this first half. Offense turning quickly the other way into defense, and defense into offense, and all kinds of things like that. So glad you've joined us here on the IVP Sports Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. We'll have another game coming up for you next Friday night. Another girls basketball matchup from the Grove. A good rivalry game as the Lady Irish of Fisher Catholic take on the state-ranked Lady Rockets of Bern Union. That's coming your way next Friday night on IVP Sports. So after the timeout, Central Crossing will have the basketball. See See if they'll try and slow it down. They've not done it so far tonight. It's back into the ball game and off the glass and in. Lasko, tough shot for her. Georgia Lasko's got 15 in the half to lead all scores. And it's 28-25 Central Crossing with less than a minute to go. And that one's stolen away by Kimmel. And has it poked out of bounds. And it will stay with Central Crossing with 42 seconds to go. As you see, Anita Deco, who's had herself a fine first half. We're on with Lasko. Kimmel looks to slow it down inside of a half minute. Bounces for Watkins, who loses it. Taken away by the Lady Gales with 20 seconds. Here's Wilson. Finds Pugh. Down to 11. Inside to Wilson. Down to 4 seconds, and she's called for traveling. Was trying to pass it off and really had no one coming out over to help her and couldn't keep her footing. So with 3 seconds to go, Central Crossing will trigger it in. Kimmel from half court, off the mark, and that will take us to halftime. With the score, Central Crossing 28, Lancaster 25. You are watching the Buffalo Wild Wings IVP Sports Game of the Week.
Here at Habitat, our mission is simple. We're here to bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. Achieving this mission is made possible by the support of local partners like Buckeye Toyota and their Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye Toyota will make a donation with every vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Habitat for Humanity, we say thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for all of your support.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
Fairfield Medical Center took care of me like I was family.
I was made to feel like I was the only person that they were going to see that day, even though I knew that wasn't the case.
Everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease.
I was there for 12 days, and I felt comfortable there.
We were people to them, not a number. They took the time to get to know us, our personalities.
Well, they saved my life. You know, how do you beat that?
I don't know how I could have gotten through it without them.
Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Lancaster High School. 28-25. Central Crossing leads Lancaster here at halftime. A very spirited first half between these two teams. As back and forth we go. And it was a good half, especially for the Central Crossing team, as they were out on the press quite a bit in that first half and really got after Lancaster, causing some turnovers, and that certainly made the difference. It was a great first half for Georgia Lasko, who led the way with 15 points for Central Crossing. And she was also assisted by Amanita Deco, who had herself a really good first half as well with 6 points. Lancaster, a couple of players with 4 points. Also, Kylie Phillips with 6 points, lead all scores for Lancaster, and then 4 each for Jenna Grabbins, who had some foul trouble, and Peyton Wilson. So it'll be interesting to see what Lancaster comes up with in the second half, especially to deal with the pressure that they have faced. And you wouldn't know it by the record, but only 3 wins on the year for Central Crossing. The way they played, though, in that first half, definitely looked like a team that had a better than 3-win total in that first half. We'll remind you tonight's halftime is brought to you by Fairfield Federal. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan Association is your Fairfield County community bank, specializing in home mortgage loans. They've been serving the Lancaster community since 1895. Stop in and see us today at any of our 3 locations: in Lancaster on Main Street, in downtown Lancaster, or on Westford Avenue, or in Pickerington on Cross Creeks Boulevard. We are banking that revolves around you. Also, tonight's games brought to you by Fairfield DD. Fairfield DD supporting more than 1,200 people with developmental disabilities and their families in Fairfield County, bringing about a vibrant community where people can lead fulfilling lives and make meaningful contributions. 28-25, Central Crossing leads at the break. We'll be back with the second half here in a moment on the Buffalo Wild Wings IVP Sports Game of the Week.
Carriage Company and check out our sweet deals.
If you're looking for the best selection of clean, quality used vehicles, look no further than the Carriage Company. You'll feel secure with your purchase, knowing all vehicles undergo an extensive safety and service check prior to the sale. And all vehicles can be viewed online at carriagecompany.com. The Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster.
So wait!
Come experience the Huddle Tire difference. Locally owned and operated since 1910, we're your independent tire and auto repair shop. We carry all major brands of tires, including Goodyear, Cooper, BF Goodrich, and many more. But we're more than just tires. From safety inspections to alignments, brakes, shocks, and struts, even preventive maintenance, we can handle it all. Enjoy the ride at Huddle Tire Company, 300 South Columbus Street, or we can be reached at our website at huddletire.com.
Hi, I'm Carol Whittington, and I would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, located at 1540 Hubbard Drive in Lancaster. We are a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio and Hocking Hills area since 2003. Graduations with a personal touch, weddings with a personal touch, corporate events with a personal touch. Please call us today for all your party rental needs, 740-689-6991.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Taylor with Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio. Here at Habitat, our mission is simple. We're here to bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. Achieving this mission is made possible by the support of local partners like Buckeye Toyota and their Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye Toyota will make a donation with every vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Habitat for Humanity, we say thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for all of your support.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Basketball Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, the Carriage Company, the Savings Bank, Fairfield DD, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, Huddle Tire and Auto, and North Body Shop.
(28-25). Central Crossing leads Lancaster as we get ready to start the second half here at Lancaster High School. Josh Mesterly and our fine IVP Sports team here with you tonight. And while we got a moment, let's acknowledge some of the folks behind the scenes tonight. Our director is Shane Messina, doing a fine job punching the buttons. Also Donnie Ziegfeld on graphics tonight. And bringing you the fine shots from high above is Jason Roush. And down below, that shot right there coming to you courtesy of Tom Russo. So Thanks to our small but mighty crew tonight here at Lancaster High School, enjoying a great basketball game, and we hope you are too, wherever you may be joining us from around the world. As you can find us on Twitter and Facebook by searching for Interphase Video Productions, and you can also find us on YouTube on CLN, your hometown connection. So however you're watching us tonight, thanks for giving us a look in tonight, and hopefully you're enjoying this one as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. Interesting first half. I mentioned that it was a lopsided win for Lancaster back on December 3rd at Central Crossing, but I tell you, the Central Crossing team really must have learned something from that first matchup. They've come into tonight's game really with some confidence. There you see the pep band in the house tonight, playing some long train running here moments ago, a longtime staple at Lancaster High School. As we are moments away from getting this one started. I mentioned it earlier, talking about these two teams really get some good competition in the OCC Buckeye division. And out of the 6 teams, 2 teams are ranked in the top 10. That would be Newark and Reynoldsburg in the AP poll, and Pickerington Central just outside the top 10. So when you have talent like that, you're going up against most nights in this league, it's going to toughen you up. And certainly those teams may be head and shoulders above everybody else in the league, but certainly Lancaster and Central Crossing and Groveport trying to fight for the middle portions of the conference standings. And Lancaster starts with possession and a turnover. Deco with another steal, but loses it to Weaver. Dishing it inside and off the glass, too strong for Peyton Wilson. Wilson's had a couple opportunities, 4 points in the first half. Lancaster won the first quarter 14-12, and Central Crossing won the second quarter 16-11. And now we have a reach-in foul committed by Kara Weaver. Or rather, that was Kylie Phillips. Picks up her third foul, so Coach Miller's going to stay with her here early on in the second half. Crossover there by Lasco, dishes it off. A high arcing shot by Kimmel, it's no good. Stick back by Rios doesn't fall. Here comes Weaver. She'll get it back and give it up. A little two-man game between Grabbins and Weaver. Grabbins a little quiet in the first half with 4 points. She knocks down a nice baseline jumper there. 6 for Jenna. 28-27 now, quickly the other way. It's Pugh, loses it on the way up, but a foul is called. A block on Kimmel will be her third. And that will send Kylan Pugh to the line. Just a freshman who's been a couple of the biggest surprises, along with Emmeline Chevalier. First free throw is no good, according to Coach Dusty Miller. Pleasantly surprised by his 2 freshmen who've got some contributions. And Pugh knocks one in there. 3 points in the night for her to tie it up. Lasco lobbing it inside, but to the wrong team. Grabbins comes away with it. She'll pull up from near the elbow. It's an air ball. Deco comes away with it. She's been a force on the boards tonight. Lasco loses the handle of it, gets it back, dishes it off. Taylor can't knock down the open look. And a reach-in foul is going to be called, as Wilson was going to go in for an easy layup had it not been for the reach-in. And that's going to be on Georgia Lasco, her third. Officials are wondering if that was in the act of shooting. I believe it was. And yes, they're going to give 2 shots to Peyton Wilson. Lasco's going to have a seat. 15 points in the first half for her. Big story now, though, she's got 3 fouls. Peyton Wilson, first free throw is no good. Both teams are pretty equal in free throws, shooting about 54%. Actually, you look at most numbers, these two teams were pretty close. Rebounding actually a little bit in favor of Central Crossing. Inside to Deco, back out. Jumper is no good. And that's tapped out of bounds off of Grabbins, and it will stay with Central Crossing. Scoring, however, a big difference. Lancaster about even, as that one's blocked by Pugh. Central Crossing, between their offense and defense, of usually in the negative by about 20 points. But a pleasant surprise for them tonight to be in a close ball game here, as there's a foul. And it will not fall for Kylie Phillips, but she will go to the line. That's going to go against Deco, her second. Inside, nice pass to Wilson, and she draws the foul. And Amanita Deco looks like she's going to pick up another foul. That'll be her third. And that's going to be an issue for Central Crossing, as it looks like they're going to get a sub in as Wilson misses the free throw. Newman will come back in for Central Crossing to replace Deco, but Amanita Deco's presence in the post and on the glass tonight has been a bit of an issue for Lancaster, so big deal there. Now a tie up on the missed free throw, and the arrow will give it to the Comets. We're inside of 5.5 to play in the third. Lancaster in front by 1. In the corner, a lot of good ball movement there, but losing the handle of it was Watkins, and he'll go over to Lancaster. Weaver picks up her dribble, finds Wilson at the foul line. Back to Weaver. Amongst the traffic, she'll dish it back out. It's no good on the 3. Grabbins will save it in the corner. Driving baseline, up underneath, and good for Jenna Grabbins. 8 for her tonight, and that's by far the prettiest basket she's had. And a degree of difficulty as well, going up and underneath as she drove the baseline. Comets will trigger it in the corner. Grabbins comes away with it on the breakaway. She will lay it off the glass too strong. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lancaster. Grabbins might have been a little too excited there. She had nobody in front of her trying to coast in and put it too hard off the glass. And it was tapped out, and it will be Central Crossing basketball. Comets will slow it down just a little bit here in this possession. Here's Hamilton. Shots off the front iron, gets her own rebound. And now a tie up, and it'll go over to Lancaster. And Kylie Johnson will check in. Kylie wearing number 55, looks like her JV uniform. Got to play a little bit in the game before. Pugh driving the basket, throws it in with the right hand. Nice for Kylan Pugh. 5 points for her, and a timeout is taken. Timeout taken by Central Crossing tonight. A reminder that tonight's timeouts are being brought to you by the Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. You can check out their website at carriagecompany.com. You see some youngsters getting into it here at Lancaster High School. Running up and down the bleachers, probably having a little fun doing that as well. It's all fun unless you are clumsy like me and trip over one, then go face first. But back to live action, 33-28. Lancaster with the lead. 3:44 to go in the third. There's a steal by Grabbins. Quickly the other way. Bumps into a defender, but she lays it in. Grabbins now in double figures with 10. She fought through that contact, bumping into Kimmel. And now traveling violation on Kimmel. And it's starting to go the other way a little bit for Central Crossing, as they played so well in that first half, but fouls and turnovers have been a story here so far in the second half for the Comets. It's allowed Lancaster to turn a 3-point halftime deficit into a lead. Three attempt, no good by Kylie Phillips. Stick back attempt is no good by Johnson. As Deco comes back off the bench with those 3 fouls, pulls down the rebound. There's a 3 knocked down by Lydia Kimmel, her first triple of the night. Give her 4 points and makes it a 4-point game. Johnson catching the post, finds an open shooter, and knocking it down is Kylie Phillips. 3 balls tonight for Kylie Phillips. Timeout taken by Lancaster with 2:32 to go in the third, as they get back to a 7-point advantage, 38-31. Kylie Phillips, 3 threes on the night for the sophomore guard. Actually more than doubling her season average of 4 points a game. That'll be going up with 9 in tonight's game. She knocked down that 3. Mentioned the upcoming schedule for these two teams, as we'll take a look at that here in a moment. And here's another look at that 3, or that last sequence, as you saw Johnson get it. Had a wide open Kylie Phillips. Nothing but net for her. So 3 again for Phillips. 3 of those on the night, 9 points for her. Makes it 38-31. Mentioned these two teams playing in a tough league. We'll talk about their upcoming schedules here in a little bit. Face the likes of Newark, Reynoldsburg, and Pickerington Central. Certainly a difficult road to go through the OCC Buckeye. But in tournament time, it may pay dividends when you're playing that tough talent night in and night out. Lasco and Kimmel was playing a little 2-man game. Shot's no good by Rios. Back to Kimmel off the front rim. But another rebound, another opportunity. Rios can't get it to fall. Ball's on the floor, and it will stay with the Comets. Can't fault the effort. The Comets just could not get a shot to fall in that sequence. You had Watkins and Deco underneath getting rebounds and feeding Kimmel and Rios, as well as Lasco. Deco to trigger it in, trying to find an open teammate. Finally does. It's Rios. Watkins wasn't ready for that pass. And Wilson coming up the floor for Lancaster. Crowell thought about it. And now Grabbins too strong on the 3. As we near 90 seconds to play in the quarter. Splitting the defenders was Lasco. Nice dish to Deco for the deuce. makes it 38-33. Central Crossing trying to claw back into this one. This Crown bouncing it inside to Wilson in the blocks. Now she'll take it out the top of the keys. We hit a minute to go. Inside and a push in the back from Rios. Trying to get position with Jenna Grabbins, and they're going to catch that every time. That's now the 5th team foul on Central Crossing, 3rd on Rios. Weaver will trigger it in underneath. Bounce pass off a defender, off the scores table, and out of bounds. Timeout taken by Central Crossing's. Nope, never mind. Official was going to call a timeout for Central Crossing, but I think it was a little miscommunication with Coach Novelli over there, as you see him talking with Asia Glenn, one of our officials tonight. I think she thought he was going to take a timeout, but he chose not to. So we play on. Deco in the post gives it up to Kimmel. Rios. Skip pass. And that one knocked out of bounds, and you could hear Coach Novelli yelling no on that pass, as that was a dangerous pass by Rios trying to find Kimmel, but for Central Crossing's benefit, it goes off a Lancaster player. Kimmel, top of the key to Lasco. It's poked away. Wilson comes up with it, dishes it off, and a lay-in for the Lady Gales. Chandler Kroll with it. 4 points for her. Ball knocked out of bounds. They'll stay with Central Crossing with 4 seconds to go. Deco triggered in. Kimmel down to 2 seconds. Cross court to Lasco. At the buzzer, knocks it down. 17 for Georgia Lasco, but only 2 in the 3rd quarter. And so at the end of 3, the score is Lancaster 40, Central Crossing 35. Lancaster winning that quarter 15-7. As you see the 2 huddles for these 2 teams. And mention the upcoming schedule for these 2 schools. Central Crossing will play Tuesday at Grove City, so a rivalry game for them. They'll have next Friday home against Pickerington Central, and then February 1st they will host Marysville. That Pickerington Central game certainly will be tough, and of course the game at Grove City will be difficult as well. Anytime you go on the road and play a rival. For Lancaster, their next 3 games, they'll play tomorrow afternoon at Olentangy Orange. Then they will come back home Tuesday night and host Newark, which certainly is not an easy task, being a rivalry game and a very good Newark team, top 10 ranked team. And then next Friday, they will go to Groveport. And Lancaster will start the 4th quarter with possession and a 5-point lead. See which team can close it out here in the 4th quarter. Phillips back into the game, dishes it to Wilson, who's taken over here in the 2nd half. Misses there, gets the stick back attempt, and it's up and good. And a whistle and an injury, it looks like. Peyton Wilson does get credit for the basket. It looks like that's Cordy Watkins, a 5'11 junior forward being attended to by the trainers. As they take a look, like at her left ankle. May have landed awkwardly, or a lot of times when you're underneath the basket, you'll have a situation where someone will land on another player's foot and cause a turn ankle, and you can see she's got a ankle brace already on that left ankle. And Watkins is gonna go get some further medical attention, it looks like. So Lancaster, Central Crossing will have the basketball as we return to live action. Inside is Hunter Farrell. First time tonight we've seen her, listed at 5'10". Lasco with a push off, and it's going to be an offensive foul. You could see that one coming as she kind of pushed away with that offhand to that left hand. And more often than not, that's going to get called. That's the 4th foul on Georgia Lasco, who's had a really good first half with 15 points, but the seniors had some struggles here in the second half, just 2 points. And picking up a couple of fouls has made that a little more difficult as well. 42-35, Lancaster the lead in the ball. Grabbins losing the handle of it, turns around, too strong. Lasco crossover, gives it off. Kimmel just has not found her shot tonight. Lancaster run the other way, and that one's off the hands and out of bounds. And almost out in the hallway was Kylie Phillips trying to track that one down. You see a good look at Anita Deco, who's had herself a nice night, especially rebounding as well. Deco, though, with 8 points. And there's Cheyenne Taylor. Taylor gives it up to Hamilton. Central Crossing trying to take their time and get a good shot here, down by 7. Hamilton skip pass, right to me. Knocked out of bounds, like right into the scorer's table here. And Central Crossing will keep the basketball as we near 6 minutes to go. Rios in the corner in trouble, and good job by Grabbins to wall her off, but a foul's going to be called against Phillips. And that is going to be number 4 on Kylie Phillips, and quickly Dusty Miller is going to send in a sub for Kylie Phillips. Avery Westbrooks comes in off the bench, junior forward, checks into the game. Tie up, and it's going to be with Central Crossing, and falling hard to the floor is Lydia Kimball. I tell you, it's concrete slab underneath this hardwood. It is a very hard court. Not much forgiveness there if you fall on the court. And it looked like she hit her head in the middle of that tie up, trying to go for the loose ball. As both teams huddle on their respective benches, you see Coach Novelli taking a look at her, and as well as an assistant coach. There's Lydia Kimmel, a 5'2" junior guard. Second leading scorer on the team. Right now, looking for some medical attention there, is trying to see while they take a look at Lydia Kimmel, we will step aside. 42-35, Central Crossing and Lancaster. We'll be back here in a moment.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Taylor with Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio. Here at Habitat, our mission is simple. We're here to bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. Achieving this mission is made possible by the support of local partners like Buckeye Toyota and their Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye Toyota will make a donation with every vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Habitat for Humanity, we say thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for all of your support.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
Fairfield Medical Center took care of me like I was family.
I was made to feel like I was the only person that they were going to see that day, even though I knew that wasn't the case.
Everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease.
I was there for 12 days, and I felt comfortable there.
We were people to them, not a number. They took time to get to know us, our personalities.
Well, they saved my life. You know, how do you beat that?
I don't know how I could have gotten through it without them.
Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Lancaster High School as we are back to live action as Lydia Kimmel is helped onto the sideline. Seeing some medical attention on the bench right now as there's a turnover taken away by Lancaster and a foul committed right away on Jenna Grabbins. That foul is going to go on Nitzy Rios. That'll be number 4 on her, 17 foul. So Lady Gales will be shooting free throws the rest of the way for any foul. With a 7-point lead. As there you see Kimmel on the sideline laughing a little bit. So that's a good sign. Although she may have a little bit of a knot in the back of her head after hitting the floor hard. Free throw missed, and a tie-up is going to be called on the rebound as Wilson was battling underneath for it. And a timeout taken by Lancaster. They've got 2 remaining, 3 remaining for Central Crossing with 5:33 to go here in the ball game. 42-35, Lancaster leading. And we'll see what Coach Dusty Miller draws up for his ladies. As we get the latter stages of this game. Team that's shown a little bit of rust, and you had to expect that for Lancaster. Again, they were on a COVID pause, the second one this season from January 8th to the 19th, and certainly makes a difference. There's a 3 on the way off the side of the rim. Grabbins gets her own rebound. And another chance for Lancaster. Wilson off the glass and in. 9 for Peyton Wilson, including 5 here in the second half. A big 5 for Lancaster. She's really gotten it going offensively for Lancaster. A missed shot. Grabbins pulls down the rebound. And she'll slow it down. Inside to Wilson, or rather Westbrooks, now to Wilson. Knocks down the 3. A dozen now for Peyton Wilson, her first 3 of the night, and Lancaster's starting to open up some distance on Central Crossing as Peyton Wilson's come alive. 8 here in the second half, and she now leads the Gales with 12 points. And we're inside of 5 minutes to go. Certainly a different looking Lancaster team from the first half, and you had to think that perhaps not playing since January 7th may have caused a little bit of rust. And they kind of knocked that off at the end of the first half and have played a little bit better here in the second half. Certainly, you wonder if they'll kind of get them going, especially turn around and play an afternoon game tomorrow. Central Crossing, though, too many turnovers on their end has really kind of led to the struggles, and a lot of fouls as well. 7 fouls for Central Crossing, only 2 for Lancaster here in the second half. There's Rios driving baseline, loses the handle of it. Ahead it goes to Pugh, finding Wilson, going to the rack and laying it in. 14 for Peyton Wilson, who averaged 10 a game coming in. And again in double figures, shot is short, taken away by Westbrooks. The ball's batted away. Here comes Hamilton. Hamilton tries to pass it and does to Rios, who is fouled, putting it off the glass as Weaver comes over the top and is called for the personal. And that'll be her second. And Nitzy Rios, 5 points on the night, will go to the line. Free throws up and no good. One more at the line for Rios. It's no good. And 54% as a team is Central Crossing. And that one scooped up and in. Nice scoop shot by Jenna Grabbins. She's got a dozen. And the students start to get into it a little bit for Lancaster. A pretty nice student section tonight for the Gales. Shot is no good as Pugh comes up with it. Throws it too long for Wilson and over to Central Crossing. There you see the students making some noise for senior Riley Patrick, who's honored pregame tonight. Riley Patrick getting an opportunity here late in this one. 51-35 Lancaster. Usually there's always a fan favorite that the student section goes nuts for, and it might be Riley Patrick, especially tonight on senior night. Grabbins in a long rebound. Ahead to Patrick, who had an easy basket, but not so easy. Nice job by Ananita Deco with the block. Deco actually averaging 1.9 blocks per game, averaging 10 boards on a game, and I'm going to guess she got close to that tonight, if not over 10. Here's Patrick in the corner, losing it, getting it back, and a tie up, and the arrow goes to the Comets. Trying to get on the score sheet tonight is Riley. And a timeout is taken by Central Crossing with 3:05 to go, and it'll give us time to talk about tonight's players of the game. And we'll talk about the Lancaster player of the game, which is brought to you by the Edwards Insurance Agency. The Edwards Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency with over 60 years of experience. See the difference personal care makes. Contact the Edwards Insurance Agency for all of your insurance needs at 740-653-4004. Well, I would say it's got to be Peyton Wilson for Lancaster. Came into the half with 4 points and had 10 on the half, including a 3-ball, and really got the offense going for Lancaster here in the second half. Has been a force in the paint and providing some good defense as well. There you see her coming from the Lancaster huddle, being obstructed there by Patrick, but there you see our player of the game, Peyton Wilson. Congratulations to her for being named our player of the game for Lancaster, and we'll name a Central Crossing player of the game here in a moment. Lasco back into the ball game, playing with those 4 fouls. Did a lot of damage in the first half, but fouls has been an issue for her in the second half as Taylor loses the handle of it out of bounds and over to Lancaster with 2:51 to go. And there's a steal and a lay-in for Savannah Hamilton. Nice play by Savannah. Her first 2 of the night. And another, almost a steal there. Hamilton trying to get in on it. Grabbins gives it up and gets it back. Inside, stolen away, trying to find Patrick, trying to get her on the score sheet tonight on senior night. Lasco is tied up. And the possession arrow will go over to Lancaster with 2:14 to go. And here comes Weaver. Going around a hard screen by Wilson, and Hamilton comes away with it. And it goes out of bounds and over to Central Crossing with 2:05 to go. Deco trying to get it in, finds Lasco. Who will slow it down. Lancaster in control of this one. And when rims out for Hamilton, Patrick comes away with it. Gives it up to Weaver. I'm sure they'll try and get Patrick into this possession, try and get her on the board. Phillips looking for a screen. Inside to Patrick in the lane. Turn around, no good. Deco comes away with it, and a foul going the other way. Let's name our Central Crossing player of the game. Tonight brought to you by the Savings Bank, where community always comes first. The Savings Bank, proud of our heritage, founded by local people, committing to serving individuals and businesses in southeastern Ohio. Learn more at thesavingsbank.com. And Amanita Deco, I think, had a really outstanding night on both ends of the floor, especially with her rebounding tonight, as that one's off the mark by Cheyenne Taylor. But number 20, Amanita Deco for Central Crossing. There you see her at the middle of your screen. Had herself a really good night on the boards and made a big difference, especially in the first half, as that one's almost stolen by Deco. Of course, Lasco had herself a good night as well, as Lancaster takes a timeout. Lasco, first half, did a lot of damage with 15 points, so far with 17, but Deco with 8 on the night, several rebounds, a block or 2, so congratulations to Amanita Deco, our Savings Bank Central Crossing player of the game. Minute 18 to go in this one. Lancaster in control. You see a nice crowd on hand here at Lancaster High School. Glad to be able to get some games in. I had a game that we were hoping to bring you last Friday night, but unfortunately COVID canceled that one, and certainly programs have been dealing with that throughout this season, and hopefully we're getting closer to the end of that and get more of these games in. I mentioned Lancaster will play again tomorrow, so a quick turnaround for them at Olentangy Orange. A little bit of a break for Central Crossing, as they will not get back at it until Tuesday night. Of course, that's barring any makeups. The Olentangy Orange game for Lancaster was originally scheduled during their COVID pause, and they had to reschedule it. Patrick comes away with the inbound, spins around, and cannot finish. Sticking it up and no good. Ball's loose, and a foul is called. Let's see who goes to the line. Could it be Patrick? She had a nice move to get open, and she is going to go to the line. Foul goes on Amanita Deco, her 4th. So Riley Patrick on senior night. 2 at the line. Place is going to explode if she makes this one. And she cannot. And Wilson ties it up with Deco. The arrow will go over to Central Crossing. Well, if Patrick finds a way to get a basket here, though, I'm sure the student section will go nuts. They've been waiting anticipation every time she touches it. Shot's no good. Rebound underneath by Lascos. Ripped away by Weaver, and it goes out of bounds. It stays with the Comets. Inside of a minute to go in this one. Here's Rios. Taylor has it taken away. Here comes Phillips. Phillips goes to the ground. Should have been called for a travel there. And now a technical foul is called on head coach Chad Novelli. Wasn't happy with the fact that a traveling call was not made earlier, and he gets teed up. And Riley Patrick is going to get a chance to shoot the free throws. Coach Dusty Miller said, yes, I want my senior out there to get an opportunity to get in the score sheet. First free throw for Patrick is short. She'll have one more at the line. And Lancaster will have possession. Second free throw for Patrick. It's good. And she's got to feel great about that. As you see her teammates hug her. And now she's going to get subbed out for her so she can get a nice ovation from the crowd. And there you see Coach Miller giving her a hug. So a good ending for Riley Patrick on senior night. As you see her getting a hug from every teammate. As we are inside of 40 seconds to play in this one. As Grabbins starts to dribble it out inside of a half minute. And a 5-second violation. Comes with 23 seconds to go. That one poked away, going to be a kickball violation, and it will stay actually with Central Crossing. 19 seconds to go. It's certainly a Central Crossing team that fought hard, and a lot of things that they can learn from their first half. They just got to learn to maybe put two halves together. Unable to do that tonight. Lasco has it poked away, knocks it out of bounds. Nice save there by Tom Russo, working the baseline camera. As you see his shot right there. Grabbins will slowly bring it up the court with 12 seconds, and a foul in the backcourt will be called on Savannah Hamilton, her first, and Central Crossing over the limit, so head down to the other end for two free throws with 11 seconds. Jenna Grabbins, a good night tonight, hitting her average at 12. Trying to get over that. And misses the first one. One more at the line for Grabbins. And she will knock it down to get a baker's dozen. One more than her average. Comets will bring it up one more time inside of 10 seconds. In the corner, Hamilton in trouble. Puts it up, and that's going to bring us to the end of the ball game with the final score. Lancaster 53, Central Crossing at 37. A 3-point advantage turned around by Lancaster against Central Crossing as the Gales struggled in the first half, trying to find themselves after a pause, but certainly got back in it in a big way and get a big 53-37 to win tonight, and gets their second conference win of the year, improving to 8-5 overall. Central Crossing falls to 3-13 and 0-7 in the OCC. And again, a great night, a great first half by Central Crossing, just not able to put those two halves together, and that certainly made a difference. Lancaster came out a little bit rusty, but certainly played really well. Jenna Grabbins with 13, Peyton Wilson with 14 really led the way for Lancaster, and it was Lasco and Deco who provided a spark for Central Crossing. Just was not quite enough for the Comets as they again fall and drop their 13th of the year. But these two teams definitely get tested in this OCC Buckeye division. It'll be really interesting to see down the road if that pays off as they get into tournament play, because you're seeing the likes of Reynoldsburg, Pickerington Central, and Newark. Those are some of the state's best. In fact, all of those three teams ended up in the regional semifinals last year. So you know it's a tough conference when all three of those teams are playing in the regionals. But it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this season finishes out. We'll remind you, our next game comes your way next Friday night. It'll be a rivalry game in the Mid-State League Cardinal Division as we'll head down to Sugar Grove. A good one lined up between the Lady Irish of Fisher Catholic and the Lady Rockets of Bern Union. So that'll be our next contest, and that comes your way next Friday night here on the IVP Sports Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. But that'll wrap things up here from Lancaster High School. Once again, the final score, Lancaster 53 and Central Crossing 37. For our entire IVP Sports crew, I'm Josh Messerly. Thank you for watching the Buffalo Wild Wings IVP Sports Game of the Week, and good night, everybody.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Basketball Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, the Carriage Company, the Savings Bank, Fairfield DD, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, Huddle Tire and Auto, and North Body Shop. IVP